God damn it.
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth. Take the truth. I'll set you free.
I see it. I see it. Can you hear me? Testing.
There you go. All right.
What's up, brother?
It's awesome. You're outside by a pool, kicking it like Caribbean style. It's nice.
I mean, it's jasonseiler I'm speaking to here, so I had to make things good looking somehow.
Oh wow! I wish
we
I
all
could,
know my
I could
face
do the
is
same.
not so.
Well, dude. Oh gosh. So I'm gonna do like a little introduction. We'll just jump into it. But you know what the heck? I'll just jump into it right now. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Face the Truth. We are back, baby. All right. It's been a crazy, insanely stressful month or so. Trying to move, get a house. It's a very long, complicated story. I don't want to get into it, but was almost homeless there for a second.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no joke. It's fun trying to buy a house. But anyways, moved. I'm finally out of the city. I'm in the burbs and I'm loving it. It's really, really weird not being in Chicago. I'm not sure if I missed the gunshots or not. But it's quiet, it's peaceful. Everyone's friendly. It's really weird. You walk around, everyone says hi. I'm walking my dog. People are saying hi. I walk around, my dog takes a poop. I pick up his poop and I'm walking around and then he does it again. So I got like 2 or 3 bags of poop and walk around. This old lady comes out of her garage and she's like, "Oh, can I take those poop bags for you?" It's like, where am I? Yeah, I'm in the suburbs. This is so crazy. Like, it's so weird. Seriously, everyone says hi when they drive by. It's just, it's amazing. I really love it. It's peaceful. It's quiet. I've got a backyard. I've got fish in my backyard. I got a little koi pond. I can sit in my backyard, on my porch at night and just chill. And it's just like peaceful and it's quiet. And this is going to be weird, but I'm really happy about it. Now, the reason the background is blurry is I do not have a studio set up yet. We got a fixer-upper because that's the way I roll. And so there's a lot that we have to do in our house, and including my studio. So my studio won't be ready for a while, but it's cool. We got time. We'll take it in baby steps. Got to fix the bathrooms first. The bathrooms come first, and things like that. Happy wife, happy life. Anyways, I hope everyone's been well. I'm starting to get settled in. I have a little bit of a head congestion today. So forgive me if I sound weird, but I'm ready to roll and I'm super excited to be back with the podcast again. And I'm really happy to talk with my guest this week. I've known this guy for a few years. It's said that he is the fastest caricaturist. And so we're going to talk about that a little bit because I want to learn a little bit about that because I think I might be one of the slowest caricaturists. But anyways, he's pretty awesome. And I definitely want to talk about his live technique. He's developed quite a business for himself. And there's a lot of cool things that we could probably learn from him business-wise, live caricaturing and that whole deal. Talented dude, funny dude, nice dude. And I think I've seen him do hundreds of squats online. He does a lot of squat videos, and I've watched like hours of him doing squats. So everyone, please welcome Alani Jimenez. Whoop, whoop. Welcome to the podcast, my friend.
Appreciate it, brother.
So how are you doing, man? First of all, where are you exactly? So it looks nice.
Right now I'm in York, Pennsylvania.
Oh.
I'm doing a show out here. As some of you may or may not know, I travel quite a bit and, doing caricatures up and down the East Coast. Love the hat, by the way. Hey, just spotted it.
Promoting the
Ooh.
podcast.
Gorgeous. Yes, sir. I'm outdoors because I just figured if this man can make a drawing, a painting look so beautiful, I have to have a beautiful background because something has to help me out here. Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you travel all summer long, just up and down the coast, you said?
Yes. Summer and some of the winter as well. A little part of the fall time. It's a lot. It's a lot of time, and it's very interesting because I feel like it's tough to be away from the family and everything.
Yeah.
And doing caricatures, you're trying to make people happy and smile, and so one of those things is that's exciting to me. But it's the working with other artists that really gives me a high of like, oh my God, that's awesome. You could just learn from each other here with the uncommon caricaturists and face painters. So, just such an amazing experience to be out here working with other artists is why I do it. Obviously the money aspect is a factor. But that's the tough part too, is like I can't be home and make money at times, and so that's how things are changing from a few years ago till now, and we can talk about that in a few with the pandemic and everything.
Yeah. So as far as like the traveling goes and all that, how does that work? Like, how do you set up where you're going to go? And there's like certain hotspots during the summer, or are there festivals or different places that you're locked in for this time, and then another caricature group or someone who's going to come in after that? So there's always going to be caricatures at the specific spot, but it's like rotating. Is that how it works? Or I don't know.
Yeah.
This another thing I just want to say real quick though. Like I have a lot of questions about this too, because even though both of us do caricature for a living, we have completely different like experiences, because I don't know what it's like doing the live stuff. I've done it a couple times, a few gigs here and there, but as far as what you do in the traveling, so I know nothing. So if you could fill in as much as possible, I'd love to know. Get down to the nitty gritty. Yeah.
Well, simply, I mean, we make plans. As I mentioned, I work with Uncommon Caricatures, and they put the logistics together. I come in and manage the operations, from stocking the booths to making sure people get their pays and everything. And it's just really, really interesting, mainly because of the traveling aspect. I love to travel, working, just drawing. I mean, we're making silly drawings and making people laugh and smile. And we're seeing different sceneries as we go to different events. We're talking about, we go down to Florida, we come up to North Carolina and Georgia and other events, also in New York. So we go really, really the extremes, it feels like, for these events. And mainly we move with the seasons. The seasons has allowed us to just stay in a spot where it's not like super, super hot or super, super cold. It's the events fall in perfect times. Some more than others, of course. There is some crazy weather at times, and boy, I've been in crazy rain, crazy tornado area, and it just some things have happened and just been crazy. But all in all, it feels like I'm living the dream of some people, like travel and make money with something you love to do. I really, when I started this in the company that I started with, I did not think that was going to be possible. Mainly because I was at one station and I would just come back each summer, maybe 2-3 months out of the summer, out of the year, to work, and that's it. But now it's an entirely different animal, and it just has evolved for me, to be able to adjust to, not only draw the face, but also, color it in and things like that. And learning from other artists has just been really dope. So like the cool thing about the traveling aspect too is, in working with other artists, is that we get to see, from artists like Nick Mitchell. I've been fortunate enough to work with artists like Nick Mitchell, Sean Gardner. I've had the pleasure of meeting Gonzo. Some of you may or may not know him, but he's an amazing artist. I was trained by Tim Reed, and then I furthered, this learning and things with this company, which is now called Uncommon. And Jason Riggs showed me a few things along the way as well. Just amazing people, very, very patient with me because, man, I surely, needed some growth back then, and they were willing to put up with me. But I just, there's so much. And so the nitty gritty for me is taking a face and evolving the quality of the work, from, as we look to do better caricatures, we do thick and thin lines. Back then I just had one line.
Yeah.
This is all I had, one line. It was just very tough to get the thick and thin and all that. But, I've been working with some amazing artists. Nolan Harris is one of them. Dexter Rothschild, Sergio Mateos, just to name a few, from, Damian Dunn at this point, Sam Sellers. So many. Ali Tome. So if Manny Avetizian, actually, Vincent Russell, it's so many more. But I've learned from each of them a little aspect that has led me to where I am today.
That's awesome, man. Before we get into the fast thing, because I want to talk about that a little bit. How did this all start for you as far as caricature? Like when did you get into drawing, and how did you end up into caricature?
I've always seen caricatures everywhere. In Dominican Republic, that's where I'm from. I lived there until I was 11. Then I moved to the US. Over here, I was exposed to it a lot more, but I had no idea how to get into it. And my cousin showed me a few things of drawing in itself. I always loved drawing, but I didn't know why or how to necessarily get better at it.
Mm-hmm.
And my cousin actually showed me, hey, just draw these robots. It was like a box with like a circle here and there, and it would just make this robot. And I'm like, that's amazing. Just like so simple, but it just created this thing. So through all that, I then learned that my dad used to tell me that I used to take my dad's brush before I could even walk and crawl up to the wall and just mess up his work, because he painted signs for the different businesses and different events in the Dominican Republic. I had no idea, but I guess since then, that just kind of grew, and I was wondering, it was just intriguing to me. Oh, and of course, we cannot leave out Bob Ross, who would play.
You can't do that. Yeah.
On TV, and I was just slapped in the face every time he would paint one. I'm like, whoa, hold on a second, what did you just do? And all that just piquing my interest throughout, sort of planting these seeds. And it's like, are you gonna get into this or what? Is the way I thought about it. So, but it just feels like it's been a gradual, like, dude, you need to be doing this, just get into it, So I finally was working at this amusement park in Allentown, Pennsylvania, and I used to do from games to rides, and then once I did rides, a caricature booth, just with an aura, with the sound. Oh, and it was right across from my ride, and I just looked at it like, oh my God, you know, so on my break, I went over and I asked him, you know, how do you get into this? You know, how much training do you need? What do you need to do? And I'm over here thinking they're going to tell me, oh, well, you know, it's like 70 years of experience and you have to work 30 hours out of your day, you know, which obviously we don't have. So, and just to get into this, and that's what I'm thinking they're going to say. They're like, oh, you just go to the office right down there and apply. I was like, oh, so I went over there finally on my break, one of the days, and just applied. They asked me to draw the person on the spot, and I was able to, you know, get going with it. They accepted me to, you know, take the training and then jump into it.
That's awesome. That's cool, man.
I just never know that it was going to be that easily accepted, that I was going to be that accepted.
Well, it seems like they just accept everybody, though, and anybody. Not just kidding. It's not that hard,
That's
I guess.
the way I felt.
You know, it's funny. You brought up Bob Ross. Like, I was thinking, I have so many friends of mine who are like impressed that like Bob Ross was such a huge deal to them. Yes. And I don't know what it is, but like, I just thought right away he was a joke. Like, I remember when I was a little kid, I think it was because my dad is an artist and I would watch my dad do paintings and I would see how many hours my dad would be putting into these paintings. And then I'd watch Bob Ross, you know, painting. Yes, we're painting happy trees. And he was like, he'd take like a sponge and he'd be like, bloop, 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 bloop. And I'm like, this is fake as shit. Like, I remember as a little kid thinking like, this is not like, I just remember him like with like a spatula and doing all these weird things. And I'm like, that's not what art, my dad's not doing that. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, I never took it seriously. And I remember seeing like, you know, lunch boxes and different things. And I'm like, this is not real. Like, this is, but you know, it's funny now when I've seen a few videos in the last few years and there's something so like therapeutic about it, you know, in a way, like it's so relaxing and you're kind of like, you can't help but just watch the whole episode. I think that's what it was. He was like Mr. Rogers with a paintbrush, you know, and an afro. Yeah. Anyways, that's cool.
I
man.
loved it. And I do remember painting while watching him at one point, and painting this dog. You know, to me it looked like a dog, but my grandmother, she would ask me, "What are you painting?" Because it totally didn't look like a dog. You know, I saw it recently, and I was just like, "Wow, dude, that's, oh my god, far like, from a mountain and you know, and a dog." It just, yeah.
It's funny. So it's funny. So when you got into caricature like early on like that, was caricature? See, there's a difference. I guess like my perspective or my take on it is a little bit different. Where I kind of fell into caricature in a weird way. I think where I just started drawing people that way, and I didn't realize it was called caricature or anything like that. But then, you know, after a few years of me doing it, my dad bought me a book on caricature, and I was like, "Oh, okay, this is a thing." And and then shortly after that, I went to the Mall of America and I saw Tom Richmond and a bunch of artists at the Mall of America drawing, and then my parents would just leave me at the booth, and they'd go shopping, and I would just be sitting there. I was like a kid sitting next to Tom Richmond, just watching for hours. And then a bunch of other artists, like I can't remember their names right now, but so that's how I was made aware of that kind of a thing. And then I never tried to pursue it as a career. I just kept drawing, and just certain doors would open and I would go through it. The live caricature thing was, that's the reason I have a lot of questions about it, is like I just don't really, you know, I just hear stories. Like Grigor and I, we've talked a lot about it. He's got a lot of crazy stories, and it just seems like Grigor, such a different lifestyle, a different because like I tried it one summer. I did live caricature at Navy Pier, and I didn't really. They only gave me 1 day a week. Okay.
Oof.
And so it's like 1 day a week I sit there, and they gave me Wednesday, and it seemed to be dead like almost every time. There'd be some days where I'd be really busy and other days where I wasn't. There was no training. They knew I already was drawing caricatures. They found me online, and they just said, start drawing. And so people would sit in front of me, and I just, all right, but I was always more interested in being an illustrator, right? Like that was kind of more my thing. So after one summer of that, I was just like, this is not my thing, man. But I'm always, amazed at what you guys can do, how fast you guys can draw. I was starting to get to that point where I was drawing pretty quick, but again, I didn't do it enough where I always felt so much more like, oh, like I want to sketch it out. I want to really exaggerate and push things. And so I want to that's what I wanted to do at the time, was to really just, but you don't have time to do that. You have to just jump into it. So are there, like, what kind of tricks have you learned throughout the years where, because you have, you have someone sitting there. First of all, people today are not patient at all. All right. Like, and they're going to sit there and they want you to draw them. And there's so many times, like when I was doing it, someone would sit down in front of me and I'd start drawing and they'd be like this and, doing all these things. And I would say things like, hey, pretend like I'm like an artist is trying to draw you right now. And they'd be like, oh, sorry. And I'd be like, yeah, like, look at me. Okay. You don't have to smile. Because I actually didn't like drawing characters with smiles, that's that's the classic thing where everyone, if someone was sitting there like this, I would just take that and just make them like frumpy and stuff. But that's why I'm saying I don't think it was for me, because like I just didn't have the patience for how annoying people are. So how have you like, what have you had? I'm curious, like some of your tricks here, some of your just even any experiences it would be fun to hear about, because doing this for years, I'm sure you've had a lot of interesting things happen.
Oh, definitely. One that a couple that I can think of off the top of my head. You're drawing the kid. So I start out with the kids just for the layout reasons. You start from front to back on the drawing. So I kind of start at the bottom of the page, as we have the parents in the background kind of at the top on the page there. So to get the kids to look over, you have to sort of become a clown, of some sort, Hey, look at my hair. Woo! Just make all these noise, whistle. You have to like do the, like, oh my gosh, and then they look at you like, what's going on? And they look at you scared, but they look at you. I just find it hilarious when I have to do that for the parents too, Then the parents are like, look at the guy, look over here. They're standing, some of them are standing behind me. Sometimes they sit with the child, but when they stand behind me, they say, hey, look, hey, Jaden, hey, Alani, hey, look over here. And they're just like, oh, what? Oh, and it's hilarious when the parent sits down and then I have to do that. Like, hey, look over here. And they just, many people really enjoy getting this done for the fact that they can laugh at whoever's sitting down.
Yeah.
But whenever they're sitting down,
exactly,
I have no idea what the heck they need to do. And I say, it's different sitting on that side, isn't it? And when they smile and like, yeah, it is, that's when I remember, I take a mental image and try to execute the smile as much as I can, all on the page without having to look back. So that's one of those techniques I've sort of, developed. And I also noticed while I was working with other artists that, they would draw very fast, like very fast compared to me, but they were still doing certain things that they were shown to do. And I'm talking about one, eyelid, then the other eyelid, the bottom of the other eye, and it was just the back and forth is sort of a longer distance to getting to where they needed to finish this drawing, as opposed to just doing one eye entirely and doing the other eye entirely, then the nose entirely. And those are the kinds of things that I have noticed and sort of pushed myself to be comfortable with just doing that, because, oh man, it was hard to break away from the one lid, pupil kind of thing. But once I did get used to it, then I was able to do both. Am I making sense? I'm hoping that some people, really, really, pay attention to this part here, where the efficiency in which you draw the features and the order of operations, if you will, really will help to bring down the time that it takes to do a caricature. And yes, you will draw some people googly-eyed sometimes at the beginning, draw people one eye that way, one eye this way, just because you're not used to that process. But that is one of those processes that I use to be a little quicker. And, we'll jump back into some more of that in a little bit. But there's a few other things but just to get people to look, you just make noise, you just make noise, you just move around, keep them entertained. Sometimes I talk with them. I've learned to talk and draw at the same time, which, boy, at the beginning, I would see the other artists do it, and I'm like super quiet at the beginning of my, of my years, and I didn't know how they did that, how they did this magic of this multitasking of drawing and talking to the people at the same time. I didn't know why they did it. I'm like, why the hell did they want to know where they're from? I don't know why, Now I know that it's for just getting things moving. So really cool. So you tell me, what are some of your experiences? How did you get some of that, the people to look? Because I want to learn too.
Well, I mean, I've always kind of been kind of a no bullshitter type person. Like, I like to have fun, and I'm goofy, and I think I'm a pretty friendly person, but like with certain things, like I'll take real seriously, and I literally would be like, hey, I'm drawing you here, like face forward, like I would just be like, hey, look at me, man, I'm drawing you, or I'd be like, you have somewhere better to be, you have a minute, like what's going on here? And but some of my favorite things though about the experience was, because I was so new at it when I was doing it, and I only did it for one summer, I was just trying to explore. So, I was trying to figure out, just like what you're saying, I was trying to figure out the fastest way, because I realized I couldn't sketch. So what I started doing was like, I would do like a real light sketch on the paper, like just with because when I was doing it, we were doing thick graphite pencil, and then airbrush. So I would do like a real light sketch line of just like a shape, that I saw, like I could feel like their face had a certain shape, and I would just do suggestions for where the features go, and then I would go in and just directly draw, but I still wasn't as fast as the stuff that you guys are doing. But I was one of my favorite things was, there was this woman that came up to me, and it's this blonde woman that was just so much makeup on her face, it was ridiculous. And she's like, so what do you do when someone's like just like really pretty? Like, what do you make fun of? And I go, no one's safe from the pencil,
Ooh,
and
love it.
And then she sat down, and I just made like cracks, like I did like the Grand Canyon, like on her face. Like her makeup was cracking so much.
Oh my
she
God,
did not like
awesome.
it. And one of the worst experiences I had was I was drawing this person, and well, let's put it this way. Okay, my boss was sitting right next to me, and I'm drawing this person. I think it's a man. And
oh man,
shaved head, no makeup, jewelry, nothing. Giant sports jersey. Looked like a dude. I had no idea that it wasn't a guy at all.
Oh man.
And so I just drawing what I see. The person never talked to me once the whole time. I'm trying to draw whatever. And I would do this thing where I would fold my paper in half. I'd turn around and I'd let it flop open. I'd be like, yeah, surprise, you know. And this woman goes, "You made me look like a boy." And then she goes like this, and she takes her hands and she goes, "Bam!" Smashes my table, and my airbrush paints go all over the place. And I'm like, "Oh," big person too. And my boss is like,
"Oh my God."
Like, and I'm like, and then they walked around next to me, and I'm like, I'm confused, like very confused, because I'm like, are you a man? But what like, I didn't mean to, maybe I made you look too boyish. I was confused. And then she goes, "You better put some eyelashes on there, or some blush, or some lipstick. I don't know, do something." And I was like, "Oh shit, it's a woman." I had no idea. So I got the red, and it was like little makeup, little special effects there, a little lipstick. But I made some eyelashes, just whoop, 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 and I was like, and I showed. She's like, "That's better." Paid me and left. And I was like, "What the heck?" I looked over at my boss, and he was like, "I thought it was a dude." Like, it was so, but it was. It was really scary because of how hard. I mean, just with both fists, just smashed my table, and it was terrifying.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
But it's funny looking back at it. But I remember just being like freaked out, like,
oh yeah,
because like, you know, I've heard stories from other guys too, like, you know, I don't know if it was Grieger or Ed Steckley, so a few different people I've talked to about this, but like, you know, times that like looks like a couple sitting there, and you draw them as a couple, but it's actually a father and a daughter.
Then there's that. Yes, I was gonna mention that. And then you draw this heart and stuff, and they're like, "What are you doing?" That's my daughter, or "That's my brother, or that's my sister." Oh God. Yeah.
See, but so this is why
put, like,
it's good to talk to him, though. This is another example of why, you know. So you guys been dating together? It's my daughter. Oh, you've been together for a while. Okay. You know.
Yeah, seriously. You have to ask, you know, for the safety of your person.
Yeah. No, I mean, I've heard stories of guys getting sodas dumped on their heads, and Grieger's told me some crazy things that have happened to him. People just angry and upset, and but he loved it. Like when he got rejections, he thought it was the best thing ever. You know, he used to send me. He used to share pictures with me. Like, here's the 5 rejections I got today. They're so awesome. And then he'd send them to me. I'm like, dude, of course those were rejected. Like, like, it's like really offensive. Like, you know, it's like, it's one thing, but he would have so much fun, and he would take it so far sometimes. It's like, oh my gosh. But I love it. That's what they didn't know. Like, Grieger used to do this thing where he would draw the cutest caricature that anyone had ever seen. It was so cute. And then he'd get a line of people behind him, because we want one like that. And then the next person would get in front of him, and he would destroy him. And people would be so confused, like, wait a minute, you just did this cute thing. And it's like, yeah, it's called fishing, you know?
I love that. That's such a good idea. It's so funny. But I find that a lot of
But you're people, like, hey, this is my business, man. It's going to mess with my business.
Well, no, you know? I find that many people do come up, you know, to watch what you're doing. I oftentimes I get surrounded when I am doing an exaggerated one as well. It feels as if we've educated the people to expect, you know, because even the definition of caricature includes the word grotesque.
Yeah.
You know, and so.
Well, to be fair, though, the reason it says that is because when it was invented, I mean, just imagine, like Monet was doing caricatures. Imagine back then, just the slightest exaggeration was grotesque and offensive. You know, they couldn't. They're like baby minds when it comes to that. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like if those people back then would see caricature today, they would be like, you know, really forgot. Because I think that that's a common misunderstanding of caricature. People assume that, oh, you just take our worst features, and it's like, not really. You know, I mean, some people do.
To us, they are the best features.
Exactly. But the thing is those features are what pulls. All those things come together to make who that person is, why they're unique and special. And I always feel like you don't just exaggerate one thing. You try to tackle the entire face, the entire character and essence. And it can't come across mean. And you can really push it that way, especially if you're doing something political. I mean, that's kind of the purpose of, you know, I guess you could kind of categorize them into different purposes, right?
Sure.
But I don't think at a park you're trying to, like, you know, draw something grotesque. That's not usually the goal. It can be.
Right. It can be actually it specifically is for a few artists I know. You know, Mac Garcia is one of those that just loves to.
I love it though. That's great.
Oh, brother, one of the best I know. One of the best caricaturists I know is I'm talking about Damon Dunn and Manny and Mac Garcia are like right there. I mean, I haven't seen Grigor do his live, but I've seen him do his studio and painting.
Yeah.
And it's gorgeous. It's insane how realistic he gets to these grotesque, these really pushed features. Oh, amazing. So inspiring.
It's kind of like, you know, like I've seen good in all ranges of caricature, you know, but it's kind of like stand-up comedy. Like you've got like Jerry Seinfeld, which I'm not the biggest fan of Jerry Seinfeld. Like I think he's good. I think he's very talented, but I'm more inspired by Bill Burr or Tom Segura, guys that like kind of push the edge a little bit more, are always like pushing, where Seinfeld kind of seems almost like the same thing for the last 30 something years. That's what it seems like to me. It was some like you got caricatures, artists that are safe, and just stay in that safe route. And then you got the ones that are just like, you know what? I don't care. This is my art. This is my art. This is my, you know, where's where I'm taking it. And what's cool about that is if you do it enough and you get enough of a reputation, then people will come to you, and that's what they want. You know, like Sean Gardner doing the zombie caricatures. Like he started a whole niche. It's like, you know, some people, hey, I don't want to be a zombie, but now that he's gotten to this, you know, that he's known for, it's like you want to be drawn as a zombie by this guy.
Yes.
So I think that's one of the cool things about the live thing too, is you have the freedom to create your own following and your own aesthetic, you know?
Yeah, I still don't know why people follow me, to be honest. Like, I mean, my stuff looks so generic, you know, at times. No, it's like, oh God. But some people.
That's not what my point was. That's not what I was trying to say.
I appreciate that, but I'm just looking back into it. Like, some people do follow me because they have never seen something like that. And that's awesome. The fact that, you know, we can all, as caricaturists, put the word out of what the industry even is. Yeah. That you can make a living off of this. What?
I know. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, absolutely. So the other day we were in a park, and I'm so happy about this, the location that we're in now is like so nice. And like just a couple blocks away, there's a bike path that goes through the woods for like 30 miles. It's so cool. We can go out there and just ride bike. But then I found like a really cool kids park. And so I told my wife, then we took our little kids the next day to this park. And there was this cute little old Indian couple, like in their 70s. And they had like their little grandson there. And they're so friendly. Like by the time we left, we all did Ring Around the Rosie together, holding hands in a circle. I was like, this is,
oh my gosh,
like, this is so weird for me. But I was talking with the guy, and he was like, he's like, so what do you do for a living? And your job can transfer from Chicago to here. And I was like, I said, well, I'm an illustrator. Like I'm an artist. I can go anywhere and work from home. I work from home. I have a studio. I draw and I paint. And I try to explain to him like magazine covers and whatever. And he's like, oh, so what's your wife do? Like right away, like what right away was like, yeah, you're not the one that makes the money. And it's like, no, wait, I am the one that makes the money. But it's just funny that right away he was just like, oh, so you don't have a job.
Yeah.
That's the way he kind
a
of
starving artist. Got it. So what else you got?
what does
for
your
me?
wife do? Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny. Yeah. Hey, so I got a question. I want to talk about your fast stuff. Like, because you are known for that, and you market it very well, and you've won a ton of awards at the ISCA, and rightfully so. Excuse me. And what I was wondering, like, I want to know what you're thinking. You can even besides fast, like even like, because I'm sure it's not your goal every time when you have someone sitting there that you're trying to draw as fast as possible, but you can do it. But when you're in this competitions, you're trying to like really, as fast as possible. But caricature is one of those things where from my perspective anyways, you there's a lot of thinking that goes along with it. Like you look at someone and you kind of calculate it a little bit. You think about the weight, the distances, and all these things. So what goes through your mind when you're doing it that quickly to get a good likeness? Because that's obviously, anyone can draw really fast, but how are you maintaining the character and the likeness when you do that?
I feel like you can relate when I say this. Just as soon as you see the person, something strikes you or it doesn't, and whatever it does, that's what you are going to push for. If the person, smiles and their eyes disappear, you're going to draw slits,
just like,
and so on.
Okay. Yeah.
So I've tried to, throughout the years, while working with other artists, I've learned different ways of drawing the same kinds of features. I had a lot of trouble drawing babies at one point, older people, and Asian, sort of, the placement of the features and the combination was contradicting to what I was sort of used to, because I would draw so many people from this, the same area that they would all kind of look alike, so either way, I find, so whatever I see that strikes me first, I have throughout the years put together this arsenal of features from this artist. Oh, I'm gonna draw the Sami, the Nolan nose. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do for that person. Oh, and that same person's probably gonna get the Alitom style of mouth on this one. So I feel like the most powerful tool for me has been my memory, but to be able to draw it as fast as possible, obviously, not only do I have to remember it, but also then remember it long enough to lay it down to move my hand at the speed at which my mind is going, which is a totally different, that's calibration. So I've sort of had to, prolong, my memory, and I'm sure you can relate to this, like, oh, what did that person look like? Some people practice, Steven Silvering, is one of those, the memory kind of techniques, and just sees the person and draws it without having to look at the person again, just whatever they can do, right? I actually was shown that by Tim Reed as well when I first started. That was really a good way to get things going. But there's other techniques that we've developed. But either way, just increasing the memory somehow, some way, shape, or form. That's what I feel like has taken the longest to develop. And honestly, the memory I have now is still not as good as I would want it to be. It wasn't always like this. It's this is something that people may or may not know. I used to get seizures, and I used to forget where I was, the day and time, and how I even got on the ground. Why is my crotch wet? like that, you know?
That's crazy.
And throughout the years, you know, that's what I feel like has set me back. um looking at it now, you know, I'm looking like, man, if I've never had a seizure in my life, I would be an entirely different. So
Yeah, no, but you had to you have to power through that, and something that you have to, you know, has to be, you know, we all have like things that we have to go through that, but like, how did you end up like getting through that kind of a thing? I mean, are you still struggle with that, or do you have to?
I've learned so much through having those scenarios, those what we call episodes, that I now have learned the pre section of it. So like when I'm about to have one, and I've learned what to do when I'm about to stop it. And that's something that, you know, has helped me to just like continue. And, you know, by learning this, I have to continue to sort of, it really is. You know, you have to tell people, you have to communicate with people, you know, if I can't, you know, if I can't do the procedures that I know how to do, which is, you know, just simply drink water, you know, cool myself down, put water on my face, get some water that is fairly cold to just cool down the system. And so to hydrate and to cool down the system are the two main things. Put cold pack of some sort here and here. Just that in itself is going to stop it. But also, you know, when I'm about to have a seizure, people, you know, they see me sort of looking like to the side over and over, and that's how I know that it's like, oh God, okay, I gotta just stop myself from looking elsewhere other than straight. I have to just look straight, you know, and through that kind of a thing, I can kind of stop it, cooling down my system, realizing that it's going to happen. You know, I could say my name multiple times so I don't forget it, and just powering through that.
Man, sorry you have to go. That's rough, dude. But yeah, that's intense.
It's just life at times, but I feel like, you know, it's important for people to know that it's not like I had it easy. A lot of people think, oh yeah, you know, he's worked with all these artists, of course he's gonna be good. You know,
it's never by anybody else. Anyone that's making it as an artist, I don't care if you're a musician, actor, comedian, illustrator, whatever it is, that's all on you. You know, like nobody can take you. I mean, you might have some people that give you opportunities, you know, but I mean, it's I from my perspective anyways, it's always a struggle. Like I'm working on a commission right now for advertisement that's like seriously challenging, and it's very stressful. You know, you even though I know I can do a great job, it's like you're dealing with other people, and you've got like 100 other cooks in the kitchen, all trying to give you a direction, and so it's never like you get to a point where you have it all figured out. It's always there's always struggle, you know. But I think from my experiences that struggle is, I think, key. It's important for success. It's important for growth, and without struggle, you know, you would be stuck in one place for a long time. Yes. You know what I mean?
And that's exactly right. And that's what I wanted to get to. I wanted you to know that I did not forget your question. And I say that because I used to forget.
Did you just have a seizure on me? You just forgot, like.
Wait, what? Were you saying something?
Get some. No, there's water behind you. Jump in the pool, man.
Yeah, so you know I would too, but that would probably be a bad idea if I'm about to faint.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
So I want to like point out that it has been a struggle, but a lot of people feel like I've had it easy. You know, so my answer to your question is, how did I get? It's through the use of my memory often. I've literally, like, if I need to call somebody, I would remember their phone number. And I didn't know that you can sort of practice your memory and get better at that. but it's something that I was already actively doing. You know, I would just memorize it instead of just writing it down all the time, because then I would just depend on writing it down and I would never remember anything. So I remember specifically trying to realize, okay, that's that phone number. Okay, cool. And through doing that practice of continually, you know, growing my what we call this memory, it has allowed me to have now this better memory, and I now realize it because people say it to me, like, how did you just look at them once and draw their entire eye? I don't understand what you just did there. And I'm like, huh, I didn't realize that was a thing. I thought it was normal, you know. So through that struggle, just as you said, it was really, really key to allow me to be a little fast or efficient, rather. I like to use the word efficient because it is, you're looking at them once and you're doing something and boom, and it's done. Next thing, you know. But still, that exists of that same knowledge of drawing one lid and one lid exists right there. That same concept of, you got to look at them, you got to look at the drawing, look at them, look at the drawing, and still, you see, so there's an inefficiency there. So what I've realized is that I have to memorize the entire face as much as I can, the entire face, so that I can then draw it, boom, you know, and I literally can take my time, but I know where the lines go and in the order they go, whether this way or that way. So that's what has, you know, and I didn't know that was, I feel like I have a superpower of some sort. Like, I didn't know that was the thing. Everybody's just looking at me strange, like, what? I thought everybody could do that.
That's a good thing to practice though too, because like I can say, like, even in illustration type stuff, whenever I get to do caricature type stuff, or even when I just draw for my own, I one of the things that I like to do is kind of what you're saying is, I like to look at someone real quick. First of all, reference is the most important thing. Like finding the correct reference of, like, whoever it is that you're, like a celebrity or whatever. Because I always think about, when I think about you know, Tom Hanks or somebody like that, right away an image pops in my mind. Like, I see Tom Hanks, and so I want to find that reference. I want to find what I can see in my mind, what I can represent, and then when I'm trying to draw, there's a lot of times what I'll try to do is I'll just do a real quick small cartoon. I call them cartoons because it's not really, it's kind of caricature finalized. It's just like a little goofy doodle that just shows basic, like, let me just draw him real quick from without looking now, just to see if I can try to do something that feels like him. And if I can, I'm like, oh, there's a lot in that drawing, like, and I'll use that little doodle to, like, start doing a whole new sketch where I can place the features. Because I think what it is there's something about that unconscious first impression that if you can put that, because I kind of feel like we as humans, I think we remember in exaggerated form, if that makes sense. Like if there's a crowd of your friend or a crowd of people and one of your friends is in that group, your brain can pick out your friend in seconds. Like, just boom, there's my friend. Your brain went through every single one of those people there, and the shapes and form of your one friend just stood out right away, and you can identify them immediately.
They don't even have to be looking at you. They could be turned around back facing you, and like, you can know exactly which one is your friend.
And I think you recognize, because I think we do think a little bit in exaggerated terms, and there's even like a technology that airports have been trying to work on, I think, where the software basically exaggerates the person a little bit, because it's more recognizable as the person, because you kind of see them a certain way. I think everyone kind of I think that's why caricature is so effective too, and I think that's why really good caricature looks more like a person than a photo does, because you're really pulling out that, like, everyone looks really weird. That's the way I think, like, everybody does. Like, there's, you know, even little cute babies, like there's always something that's like so unique, that's so different. And one thing I like to do too is, like, if you're just, we'll just talk about babies. If you take about 5 different baby heads and put them all together, and you just look at each one back and forth, their faces start to, like, animate. Like, if you look back and forth to them, because, like, their features will just be so different, and, like, well, you know, and right away you're like, dude, baby number 3's eyes are so far apart, and then you look at another one and you're like, oh, that baby has no space from the nose to the mouth at all. And, like, you can do that with
Love that.
adults and everybody, but I just find that a fun trick. Sometimes people have a hard time, like, I don't know what to do, I don't know how to capture this person. Like, well, put their face up and then put like 5 other people around their face, and just look at all of them, and you'll start seeing the differences between, you know, that person. But it's difficult. That's the reason I brought it up. I was wondering about, when you're drawing so fast, how do you do it? Because you know, it's one thing to draw fast, but when it's with caricature, it's like there's a lot more going on. There's a lot more information. You know, and I think it's cool. You can, like, with the live caricature thing, you can have, like, develop a sort of formula in a way, like, you know, like, I'm gonna, like, start with the left eye, then the right, then the nose, and you kind of, but you still have to calculate, like, how far the eyes are apart from each other, how big are they, how small are they,
Love it,
you know. But it's pretty awesome, man. Like, I love watching, like, you and a bunch of other artists at the caricature conventions. Just it's for me, it's really cool because it's so foreign. And just even, like, watching, like, working with marker on paper, it's like, damn, that's crazy. That's a whole skill in itself, you know, to like, that's not, like, you know, it's something that takes the time to develop that. Yeah.
Yes, that is something I did not realize at the beginning, is that I was getting used to the marker. Jumping straight into the marker was the toughest thing. You know, whereas I would say also that talking, drawing, I would say getting used to the marker, talking and drawing, you know, while trying to capture this likeness was like, what? Mental overload. Oh God. So that's definitely a thing, you know. And you've mentioned a very, very valid point, is differences among siblings does help to develop, you know, the arsenal of caricature. So caricature features, the way I've learned to sort of visualize this in my mind is, you know, like the Matrix. You know, you're in this empty room, and then all of a sudden, oh, you think helicopters, and then an entire array of like one wall this side of things and on this side of things, and it's just like, okay, the F whatever, you know, oh, okay, and from this year, oh, okay, you know, it just narrows down to what you place on the paper, you know, of features. You know, you're choosing from all these arrays of features, the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. And also a feature is the distance between them, the relationship between the features. A lot of people don't know that that's a thing, and you have to look at that also.
Yeah.
Honestly, face shape is important, but if you can get the right feature placement and relationship correct, it doesn't matter the shape. You know, you can literally morph that face in so many ways, unlimited amount of ways, and you still can get a likeness. Mind you, you know, again, the combination of the features to me is what really gets the likeness. Whereas face shape is important for, I would say, certain faces. You know, I can't just say, okay, it's not important. It is important. You know,
yeah. Some people, it's like really like, that dude looks like a pineapple, like 100%. You can't ignore it.
Absolutely, yeah, man. But building that arsenal was the toughest thing. You know, Nolan used to tell me, "Oh, you got to develop your stamp." I was like, "My what? Come again?" I had no idea what that was. I didn't know that there was a routine style that can at least get you going with, not forgetting features. Because at first, that's the other thing is you forgot an eyebrow and you get that shit pointed out to you,
Yeah.
Bro, an ear. Oh man, don't even get me started. Oh, you forgot my one nostril. Sorry, but honestly, like, it's been fun. It's been that learning curve, those mistakes and those people pointing it out, situations was what where was struck the synapses in the freaking brain so you can remember it.
Yeah.
The aha moment, like, or the oh my god, or the yes, that is what really so ultimately the emotion what you feel and how you make others feel and how that makes you feel also allows you to increase that memory and remember it. It's really, really interesting.
That's awesome.
So I want to mention, I will have a course on drawing. And this course, in my opinion, and in my professional opinion, rather, will increase an artist level from where it is. And I say that with much respect. It's just what I have sort of realized, like, oh my God, like, people think I'm amazing and feel like, and mind you, like, I've won some awards and that's really amazing and I'm honored. But I don't feel like I'm the best in the world. I'm not. I feel like I'm getting there, getting to be pretty decent. And I always feel like I'm learning though. And I say this, that it will take any artist to the next level because of the concept of applicability to everything else. Like, it will allow and help to focus on what you need to learn. You will realize what you need to learn based on this course and these exercises that I have formatted in there. And so, that will be coming out soon. I will have a link on my bio and on the story when it does. So make sure that
awesome.
You follow my social media and you stay tuned, turn on those post notifications, because if you're an artist or if you know an artist, share this so that those who are interested can log into it, because it's going to be hopefully insightful to realize what you don't know and be able to learn from it.
That's awesome, man.
That's exciting.
Hey, I've got I want to show you some fan art real soon before we get going here, and then I have one fan question that I'm going to play for you. Which, let's see.
Hello, Mr. Alani. I am Pujianto from Indonesia. I saw your action on YouTube, on your Instagram. I really love your work. I have two questions for you. Number one, what marker do you use for your drawing? It looks like a transparent tube. Number two, which nib type were using for it? And can you show your marker on camera? Thanks for your answer and chatting from Indonesia. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, that I could not hear it either. I sent you. Do you remember? I sent you the audio. Do you remember a little bit? Basically, he was asking about what kind of paper and what kind of markers you're using, and that sort of a thing. I'm going to try to play the video on the podcast, so maybe it'll come across a little bit better, so other people can hear it. But for some reason, that sounded really weird.
No, I didn't realize that you had sent me the audio. I read what you wrote.
Oh, okay.
So I am aware and I am ready to answer that question, which is an entire list of the same question.
Okay.
So I get that question so often. And it is really, and oh, hold on, let me see something. I really hope I do. Oh yes, I do. Awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
So I've got it right here. Everyone and their mom wants to know what kind of marker I use.
The secret marker. My mother in North Wisconsin, she wants to know.
Honestly, I mean,
Oh yeah, years, I really want to know. It's my mom. I really, hey, how's it going there? Been up here in the North Woods, and just there's only one thing I really want to know. And it's like,
goodness, this is wonderful.
What kind of marker does Alani use? Oh, good golly gee. I hope he tells us.
No, it's great. Yeah. All I gotta say is,
my mom, she's gonna kill me. All right.
All I want to know is what kind of marker you use, because we know you can't draw that fast for real.
The marker does it. The marker does it for you. The
marker does all the work. It's a magic marker. I mean,
yeah.
But what is this sorcery? Well, throughout the years, we've experienced the design marker that I actually didn't grow up with. When I first started, that had just gotten discontinued. So they had just jumped into the Marquette. So that the industry has gone from the design marker to the Marquette. And then those got discontinued for, chemical reasons and, legalities behind that. So we started using the chart pack. Oh my gosh. That was the biggest learning curve for me, because the tip was so hard, so difficult in my hand. Oh God, it would suffer after the day of drawing. I couldn't fully close my hand because I had to hold the marker so tight all the time to try and get that thick and thin line variation. So what are we gonna do? We start experimenting with different markers, and the way I learned about it was Manny and Natalia. Natalia mentioned to me, his wife, what it was, and I was like, finally, I can save my hand. Wow. So we started using a brand of marker that it's a kid's marker. The answer was right in front of us all these years, and we just did not, and so it was interesting because later on I realized, like, oh, Iska mentioned this marker too. Iska is the International Society of Caricature Artists, and that's where I got my awards and things from. But just to go back to the marker, they mentioned this in one of their articles, and you can refill it and all this, and they're showing all the stuff how to do it. But this is amazing. But I first learned about it from Natalia, and she mentioned to me, like, oh, it's just the Crayola marker. It's one of those from the Crayola factory, or not Crayola factory. That's their entertainment thing, but it's from their marker factory. I was like, what is that? And so I finally got a hold of something like that, and that got discontinued. So
dun dun dun.
So for you here, for the first time ever, I will be mentioning the type of marker and where I get my markers from. You ready?
Yeah. Oh wait. Hold on, I gotta answer my phone.
I was like, what is that?
Yeah, Mom. Yeah, Mom, he's about to tell us what marker. I'll call you back. Okay. All right.
So yes, this is the Crayola
Heroin.
maker marker, and what this is simply permanent ink, which I would like to keep that for my audience over here, but you can put permanent ink of your choosing into the reservoir in the back, and it comes in pieces, and I'm going to show you what you're going to look for at the stores to be able to access this marker. So this is what we use. Crayola, make sure you sponsor us. Just saying, him and me both.
Yes, please.
Let's do it. This is the Crayola Silly Sense marker maker. So this is the other set of marker factory that they made that they still make, and that's why they discontinued the other marker makers. Amazing. I'm gonna open it up so you guys can see what is in here, and you can see how this all comes. And we've got, and some things might fall out, so my
mom is not gonna believe this. You're drawing
this
with
is the magic marker.
silly kid markers.
And they smell good too.
Yeah, it's very important.
Oh,
Yeah.
yep. Things are falling out the back there. But it comes with all these nibs, all these cases. They all match perfectly. And so you can have like 16 markers out of this one pack. That's amazing. Cool. This is for the first time ever I'm revealing this only here on your podcast.
I think this is a joke. You just pulled out a Crayola heroin kit, and we're supposed to believe that that's what you're using. Okay. All right.
Yeah. And so comes with boxes that are flattened and everything for, you literally can take these pieces.
This is so weird. I never would have thought this at all. This is interesting.
I am there with you. Okay, so we're opening it up, okay?
It's like Michael Phelps.
Here we go.
The reason I can swim so fast is I wear Fruit of the Loom underwear.
Yeah.
That's the trick.
Exactly. That is my trick, and you may not use it. So you grab, let me see if I have everything. One more thing. Okay. The reservoir. Okay, so we insert, I like to put the tip in first. And you go from that to the reservoir. You insert that on the back here, which is open at the beginning. You push it in with my pinky in there. Boom. Cap in the back. You're going to keep this kind of loose. There's 2 levels to it, 2 clicks. One is kind of loose like this, and the other one is sort of all the way in, and that's really difficult to get out. But I leave it like that so that I can easily open it, but then there's the cap. And just like that, you have this marker. It's empty. Obviously, it doesn't have, it's white. It doesn't have any ink in it like this does.
Yeah.
So you would put the ink right in back here, whatever ink you wish. I find that the one I used is an alcohol-based kind of ink.
Yeah.
That is great to sniff at times. But so no, once you put the ink in there, you wait until it reaches the very nib right there, and then you seal it. Just hard enough that only one clicks, and there you go. You leave it for a while, make sure that all the ink kind of goes throughout, and you have a brand new marker.
That's pretty awesome, man. Wow. Yeah, never would have thought that in a million years. That's so crazy. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that.
Absolutely.
Definitely gonna let my mom know for sure. Hey, before we get going here, man. And by the way, the question was by Oma. and caricature, Oma caricature, and I'll try to play the video, and hopefully it makes sense to everybody else. If not, it's just a part of the show. You're gonna have to deal with it. Okay. So let's look at some fan art, which is always a blast. I'm sure you're gonna enjoy this.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, that's so fun.
This first one is by
my goodness.
Juanco Gutierrez. Oh, sorry, I probably butchered
That's
that.
fun. Yeah, they drew it with the tongue out.
Excuse
The way
me.
you put it, the way you put it up on the thumbnail. That's awesome. Yes, that looks just like me. That's a good one. That's a good one. The hair is perfect too. That's awesome.
You'll never guess what marker I use. Not in a million years.
You may not
Look
look
at
at
a lot.
Oh my God.
I think we're gonna have a theme here.
Yeah.
This is by Pranjal Kanawahi. And I apologize if I'm saying your name wrong. I don't read so good. All right.
I can only draw good.
I can only draw good. I can't read good. Man, I'm sorry. I'm so congested right now. My head feels like
Stop it. You're
been
giving me
squished.
congestion.
Here's one by
Hey.
Dominic Zeilinger. I love this one.
That's awesome. I love that style. Dude, that's cool. I love the lightning. Like, that's like a storm. That's dope. Wow.
Yeah, like your hair's like clouds, and
I know.
That's pretty
I
funny.
know. That's neat.
that's cool, man. This is by Lars Eric Robinson. It's pretty cool.
Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh. That's my baby girl.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
that's wonderful. I love that. I love that. Thank you so much. That's wonderful.
It's cool. This is by
Yes.
Oma Caricature. This is the guy that asked the question.
Question. Yep.
And he got the marker. He's really into the marker thing, you know?
Sure.
That's
Yes.
his deal. So that's nice. It looks almost I'm not sure if the background is marker as well. It kind of looks like watercolor.
Oh, hold on a second. That's not digital? Holy
No.
crap, bro.
I don't
That's oh my gosh, that's
mean-
traditional. That's yeah, that looks amazing. Like now it looks amazing because like, oh yeah, anybody can do this digitally. No, but that's awesome. What? I thought it was digital this whole time.
some of them are,
That's
some of them aren't.
really impressive, bro. Yeah, that's awesome. Love that. Yes. And then
Yeah,
talking
I
about the
think it's
marker.
traditional. I could be wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean I can see that it's very hard to tell. That I can see, but I wanted to mention, like, this marker question. There is another marker question, which is, what brush do I use on my digital stuff? So what I just put together, and for this podcast, I have made my marker for my digital available on my website, and it will be linked in the description. So I'm gonna send it to Jason to put in the description for us, and you guys can go and buy it at a discounted price while I keep it at that price. So right now it's only $2, and you guys will hopefully really, really enjoy it. And it's very, very similar to the marker lines I laid out with my magic marker. So
That's awesome.
there you
man.
go. Yep. Thank you.
Sweet.
Woo-wee! Yes, sir. Oh, that's amazing. What?
This is Joank away.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. What the heck? Oh, wow. That smile, the teeth, the lighting. Oh man, there's so many talented artists out there. I don't know. Please, definitely put his name on there. I want to
I'll email you.
follow him, man.
I'll email
That's
all this to you.
awesome. Oh
Yeah.
God, that's so cool.
I'll send them all to your email, and I name
Wow.
the files their actual name, so that way you can
Dope.
see.
Bro,
This
these are insane.
This is by Girish Bondwalker. Bondwalker.
That's awesome.
Bondwalker.
Yeah.
Yes, you are
Dude, that's
a
so
genie.
cool.
You know,
Yes,
you
that's
do-
so cool.
you do
I
actually have
don't
genie
see the
qualities.
whole thing. Do
Yeah.
I?
You don't see the whole thing?
No, I only see part of it. Some of the screen here, maybe I can go vertical. Let me see. Oh yeah, now I see it.
Oh,
Now I
okay.
see it. Okay, cool. Wow.
But yeah,
Man,
you
that's
do
fun.
have some genie qualities. Like I could see you, uh, yeah, I could see you granting some wishes, man. Yeah, for sure.
Dude.
Yeah.
I'm granting some wishes today. I'm telling you right now, a lot of people have been asking about my marker and what I used to draw and paint on my digital stuff. I've only released that information here and making that available here. So I'm honored that you would bring me onto the show and to speak with me. This is really dope. So I'm enjoying these drawings.
Of course,
though.
man.
Wow. Holy.
This one's funny. This is by Jacques Lemonnier.
How, man. Wow, that's awesome. He got me with my bow tie. Love it. Dude, that looks just like me. That's so cool. Is that pencil? It looks
Yeah.
like pencil and then digitally retouched on the outside.
Something, yeah. I think he
Mhm.
scanned it in or something. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, that looks amazing. That looks really good. I love that. Hey,
This is almost
dude.
some Picasso looking stuff. This is by Paula Petlawani.
Yeah, the Picasso.
And Dali.
Dali, that's the one.
Yeah.
Yes, I
Yeah.
but I
I
love
mean,
the mustache and yeah,
it is kind
Picasso
of ironic.
style.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
the character is Dali. Yeah.
Yeah. That is kind of funny because I realized when I said Picasso, people are going to be like, dude, that's clearly Dali. Yeah.
There's clearly
Yeah.
Leonardo da Vinci. Like, wait a minute.
Yeah. But there is something about the style that reminds me of Picasso a little bit.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, this
Dude,
one is by
cool.
Pierre
Oof.
Mr. Ponce. And
Oh my
this is
gosh.
gouache, actually.
Oh my gosh. I've seen his stuff throughout the years. And I want to let you know right now, I'm honored that I, was even considered to be a character for him to draw. That's really cool.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you.
Yeah, it's pretty
really
cool.
Wow, that lighting is intense. Oh my God, bro. I know exactly who did this. Steve Doris.
Yeah.
I love it. And I love it. The theme behind it is so fun. Yes. Speed Demons. I love this. Bro, thank you so much. I'm happy that he would participate in this. And I will mention this because I'm very thankful. Steve Doris is right now the only two-time speed caricature winner, two-time champion at the ISCA convention for the speed competition. And I asked him, I asked him for some pointers when I was trying to win this thing. And he gave me some good, really, really valid advice. And I'm ecstatic that he has drawn us today together on that one. That's so cool. Thank you so much, brother.
What is Steve's advice? Like, okay, first thing you got to do is you got to draw a bunch of naked ladies. You got to draw a bunch of naked ladies, and and then you can do whatever you want after you do that. But first, before you get to be fast, you got to draw a bunch of boobies.
Yeah.
Some nice long legs. And yeah.
You gotta be really
buddy.
passionate about it with your magic marker.
Yeah.
Magic stick.
I can imagine that'd be like, then he comes back and like, did you draw some naked ladies? Because you're looking fast. You're looking fast, buddy. What else are you fast at?
Yeah. It's hilarious. Like I have, some things posted and people tell like some of my subjects that I'm drawing at the time, like, oh, he's the world's fastest. And, as they look at my Instagram and stuff, and they're like, really? You're the world's fastest? At what? And I'm just like, dude, that's hilarious. I'm fast where it counts, and I take my time where it counts. Anyway, so let's just even take it there.
Okay.
Dude, this is cool. Whoa.
Yeah,
What?
this is by Christine Verratti. It's pretty awesome.
Dude, it looks realistic. That's a portrait, man. That's insane. Crazy. Wow. I would love to see like the time lapse of how that went down. That's insane how he started and finished. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. The lighting is insane.
And I think she works primarily on iPad. I think that's what she's doing.
Really? Oh, that's perfect.
I can kind of tell. I've said this before, but I can kind of tell by the
brush stroke.
Oh, this stupid thing just popped down.
No worries.
Like sometimes when you're drawing in on the iPad, these little spots show through with some of these brushes. I like it. It's part of just like, you know, it's on Procreate.
Yes,
but it gives like I really love working on Procreate. It's really fun, man.
I'm glad you're mentioning Procreate. That is the app I use in case anybody was wondering how to, you know, use the brush I uploaded, so that you guys are aware. Yeah, it is stated on the website, but either way, yeah,
I enjoy it. I love it a lot. This is the last one. This is by Ricardo Vasquez, and this is nice, traditional as well, which is cool.
Really? Wow, that's awesome. That's really awesome. Thank you so much. Dude, that looks so cool.
This is like, you could use this as a Christmas card. This looks like, I don't know what it is, but this feels like very Christmassy to me. You know what I'm saying?
Dreaming of a one.
Looks so jolly and
Christmas.
There's something so like just traditionally like comforting about this one.
That scarf is so comfortable, you know, it just is.
It looks great.
But yeah, I love how smooth that is. Like, such a cool piece. Thank you so much. I'm honored by everybody's input on that. Thank you.
And thank you everybody for sending your artwork. It's awesome.
So sick.
And we got to get cruising. I got to blow my nose. My head's about to pop. Before we get going, can you please let everybody know I'll give them your Instagram, give them everything that they can follow you. Everyone, please check out Alani, his work. He's an awesome artist, and I thank you so much for joining me and taking the time to chat, man. It's been really fun.
Thank you so much for joining us here. My name is Alani J, and I'm the world's fastest caricaturist. And again, I say that with so much respect to every single artist out there. It really did take some hard work to get to where I am today, and I'm mostly known on TikTok as the world's fastest, and I have 1 million on there. And before that was Instagram. The handle is Mr.AlaniJ, and you can also find me on alanij.com. You can find that brush that I mentioned earlier on alanij.com under the all products, but I will have a link on the bio for you. Thank you so much for having me on the show. Jason, you are an inspiration to all of us, and I am very, very honored to have had you on my show as well, the drawing hour. Thank you so much for I will be bringing that back, by the way, and it just will be in this upcoming year. I will have a little bit more time to dedicate to all of these different endeavors, and there's so much that we have to do here. We thank you so much for joining us, and make sure that you share this message. There is only information that I've provided to Jason for his podcast, and I believe that many people can benefit from it. So make sure that you get that message across for us. If you found this inspirational, make sure that you follow, subscribe, and you like it. So let's go.
All right. See, he did all the work for me. That's awesome. So thank you so much, everybody. And like I said, we're back. I'm going to try to keep doing every single week like I did before, but I'm still adjusting to this new place, new life, new town, new city, new house, everything. So, my guest next week is going to be Kyle Webster. He's an amazing illustrator, designer, and the creator of like some of the best Photoshop brushes in the business. And actually Photoshop has hired him. And I think if you have Photoshop, you have his brushes, a lot of them. So it's going to be interesting talking to him about that. Thank you for your support. Smash that like button and send me some love. You know what I'm saying?
I want to say one more thing.
Oh, he's got to say one more thing. He's got to say one more thing.
I want to say one more thing. And I just want to thank my family for putting up with all these years and time away. My wife, Cynthia, she's been an entirely, dear for just putting up with that. My family, my son, Alani X J, and my daughter, Sayani. And I just want to thank everyone who has supported me and I do it. And I didn't mention this. I do this because of my family. I want to help as many people as I can, and that's why I put out so much content to show my process. Hopefully, it helped you. Like I learned from other artists, and I also learned. So, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, and we'll catch you next time. Is that very scary? It sounds scary.
You want answers? Fight the truth shall set you free. I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.